I honestly believe that the best buildings have yet to be built and the most innovative real estate deals have yet to be structured. Why? Because the people behind those buildings and deals are in my classroom today. My principal role as a teacher is to be a role model for my students, a teacher who not only stretches the students but inspires them, helps them to grow and realize their potential. I studied in a normal secondary school in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I was contented to be an average student. However, that changed when a trainee teacher who was studying in a local university came to intern in my school. She taught us mathematics. Although I can't remember Miss Tan's full name or the lessons she taught us, I remember feeling inspired by her. I was a quiet student, but she took notice of me. She told me that I had good potential to succeed in life. One day, she even took a group of us on an excursion to her university. It was a short tour, but a seed of hope was planted in me that day. The idea of studying in a university was far off in the world I grew up in, a neighborhood where it was common for youth to quit schools early and took on apprentice jobs or help out in their parents' businesses. Encouraged by her affirmative words and actions, I responded positively by studying very hard for the final exam. When the results were announced, everyone was surprised by my improvement. From being ranked 70 plus previously in the cohort, I climbed to number 2. Looking back, this was an inflection point for my academic performance. 2 years later, I enrolled in one of the top schools in the country. I eventually enrolled in NUS, and nobody would have guessed that I could go on to become a full tenured professor in a top university. I believe in the value of education. I believe in what I do. I believe in what I teach. Most importantly, I believe in my students. This involves seeing them not as they are, but what they can be.
I remember Prof Ooi as my dissertation mentor when I was still a student, and during one of the sessions I consulted him for my work, he mentioned to his students how he will be like a mirror to us and will reflect whatever efforts that we put in. So it's very comforting to know as a student, as long as the mentor is available and the students willing, you'll be able to do the work well.
I still remember Prof Ooi's very first lecture where he shared with us that growing up, speaking and writing was always his own weakness. So much that one day, he decided to work on them, taking every opportunity to practice writing and public speaking.
We all have to start somewhere. When I first started teaching, I encountered critical comments from students, despite my good intentions and best efforts. It was humbling and can be demotivating. Instead of discounting the negative feedback from students, I pin those comments on the wall and work on each of them one by one so that I can take them off the list.
But I think one thing I really learned from him was more about how you give beyond your job and how do you care for students. He will make sure that we are really learning things. During his time as an RA, whenever I had questions regarding modules or just general advice, he will always be very happy to give advice to me. So I think that when I asked him why he wanted to be a professor, he mentioned that he just loved teaching and teaching was in a way a calling for him. So I think that was something I really learned from him. Yeah.
For me, teaching is not just a task or a job, it is a calling. And I thank God that I have a calling to the greatest profession of all. The future of the world, the nation, the society is in my classroom. Teachers, through the process of sowing seeds in the field of young minds, can yield enormous influence in shaping the thoughts and characters of future generations?
I would say dedication. Dedication to the students, dedication to the craft, and dedication to the real estate industry.
There's a Mandarin saying, 十年树木，百年树人. I feel Professor Ooi is a greatly dedicated educator that puts his heart into inspiring generations of many real estate professionals.